In this video, I want to go over how to simplify radicals quickly. And I'm going to do that by going over one that you might look at and be like, I wouldn't know how to do this quickly. So you kind of have some bigger numbers, you have some bigger powers. So here is how I would approach a problem like this. And I'm actually going to break it down into 5 different steps. The first step is whenever you see like numbers or variables on the outside of the radical, don't worry about them. Just forget about it for right now. Our focus is going to be on simplifying what's inside of a radical, which we call the radicand. And we don't want this 2x to get kind of mixed into everything. So yes, it is important. And yes, it is part of the problem. But when you're trying to simplify something, especially when you're trying to do something quickly, a lot of times I just kind of like rewrite it to the side and just like focus in, maybe use parentheses to focus in on what you're trying to achieve. Now, remember, this is a 2x times the square root of this expression, okay? So it's still there, it's still part of the problem, and it's gonna show up in our final answer. Just don't forget about it, but we don't need to worry about it until the end. All right, so now let's go and focus on how to take the square root of 98x to the 12th, y to the 17th. Let's focus on the number first. Whenever I'm trying to simplify a square root or any radical, but let's just focus on square roots of a number, I always want you to think divisibility of larger square numbers, right? We know that 2 evenly divides into 98 because 98 is even. However, we're not trying to just create a factor tree, right? That's not going to make this go by quickly. It is a way that you could use, do a factor tree and then circle all the pairs. Yeah, that works, but that's elementary, right? I want to focus on how to do something quickly. But I don't want to think about square numbers like 4 or, 9, like what evenly divides into 98. I want to start with my largest square numbers. And if you don't know your square numbers, you need to know them to be able to simplify radicals. So let's start at the top. The largest one that's closer to 98, which would be 100. And what I'm trying to do is I want to be able to identify the largest square number that evenly divides into 98. So I have 100, I have 81, I have 64, and I have 49. Now, immediately once I write down 49, I realize, hey, 49 evenly divides into 98. Now, I'm going to break down this problem a little bit slower than I would if I was doing this in my head, but just because I want you to see how I'm doing everything and breaking it down. So I can rewrite 98 as 49 times 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite my radical. I'll keep these parentheses here. Okay, so I have this as a 49 times a 2. Then the next step is once you've kind of you've broken down your number with the largest square number that it divides into, you rewrite it as a product if you need to go this extra step. The next thing is to look into powers or exponents, variable exponents. Now, when I have variables written as exponents and I have them to a higher power, I always want you to use the power rule, okay? The power rule is going to be your friend. And if you forgot what the power rule is, all it simply states is if I have a to the m raised to the n, I can rewrite that as a to the m times n. So when I look to x to the 12th, what I'm trying to think about is I want to rewrite it in this format. But I got to think, what 2 numbers multiplied to give me 12? But I don't want to think of any random 2 numbers. I want to think of the number that corresponds to what my index is. And that means if you're taking the square root, the cube root, the 4th root. In this case, we're taking the square root. So the 2, it would be my index. We don't write it, but it is understood that you could write, I can't talk, that there would be a 2 right there. And that would represent on the square root. So I got to think, well, I don't want to do 4 times, 3 and, 4 times 3. That wouldn't work. I need to use 2. So the common number is going to be 6 times 2, right? But it's very, very important on how you write it because we know that m times n is the same thing as n times m, right? 4 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 4. But for the purpose of the power rule, we want whatever our index is, we want that to be on the outside. So I do not want to write this as let's say a 2 squared to the 6th power. I'm sorry, not 2. Where am I getting the 2? An x squared to the 6th power. So x squared to the 6th power. We don't want to write it that way. We want to write it so the power of that matches our index is on the outside. So therefore, this can be rewritten as or shown as x to the 6th squared. We always want this power to match our index. Now, the next thing it comes into is going to be divisibility. Because a lot of times you see whenever you have like square roots, anything that's even, you can be able to quickly rewrite that as the power rule because 2 evenly divides into that number. But what about when you have something like 17? That's an odd number. That's not going to be divisible by our index. And again, this process is the exact same if it was a cube root or a fourth root. What I want to do is find the closest product with my index or a multiple of my index that is going to get me closest but not above this number, right? So therefore, I'm looking for 16 because 16 is the closest number that I know 2 evenly divides into. And all this is going to tell us is that we're going to have a extra remainder here. So I got to think 16. Why did I have a 5? That breaks down. Yeah. Oh, no, I don't want this to be a 5. I want that to be a 15. Sorry about that. I'm going to change this. Let's do a 15. There you go. Okay, so 16 is not going to work. We want 14, right? Because 2 times 14, 2 times 7 is going to give me a 14. That is what I'm looking for. So to get 15, though, I'm going to need to multiply it by an extra x. So it's going to look like this. I'll have x to the 7th squared. Oops, why am I using x? It's a y to the 7th, Mr. McLogan. So I'll have a y to the 7th squared and then an extra y. Okay. Now, again, I'm explaining everything to you, but all of this stuff I'd be able to do in my head, and I could do this rather quickly. I'm looking at 12 and I'm thinking, what number multiplied by 2 is going to give me 12? 6. Okay. X to the 6th squared. 15. What's the closest even number that's divisible by 2 that's smaller than 15? 14. Okay, that's 14, 7 times 2. So x is 7 squared, and then I need to multiply it by 1 extra y. I could do this really quickly. I'm just breaking everything down for you. And now, since I have everything broken down into separation by products, I can take the square root of each and every term separately. Now, I could rewrite 49 as 7 squared to kind of match what I have for my variable exponents, but hopefully you also recognize I can also just take the square root of 49, which is going to be 7. So everything I can take the square root of, I'm just going to separately do and then pull it to the outside of the radical. Everything I cannot take the square root of, I need to leave under the radical. And then don't forget about that 2x, right? We got to keep on writing down the 2x, but to keep everything together, I will still continue to use parentheses. So the square root of 49 is going to be a 7. Square root of x is 6 squared. Again, squaring and the square root are inverse operations, so that's just going to leave me with a x to the 6th. Y to the 7th squared is just going to leave me with a y to the 7th. And then I'm still going to have left over a 2 and a y. So that's going to be times a 2 and a y. Now, the last thing that I need to mention is just remember whenever you're taking the square root or an even index and you have something to an odd power on the outside, you need to make sure you include your absolute value around that term. Okay. So therefore that's going to be absolute value of y to the 7th. You don't need to do that when you have an even power factored out because we know that's still always going to be positive and you can take the square root of positive numbers. But now I just need to simplify this a little bit further. So 2 times 7 is going to be a 14, and an x times x to the 6 is going to be a x to the 7th. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is what I'm going to have for my final answer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I worked through this kind of step by step, but the same process works no matter what type of radical that you are simplifying. So if you want to see more examples of me simplifying radicals, so therefore you can get this process and pick it up in a much faster pace, then make sure you check out the videos and playlists that I have for you down below, or check out the next video I have for you here. Cheers.